It's a new development that was going in a community local to us, and they are fairly close to a quarry. And so these are larger homes, so 3,000 square foot and above homes that are being built here in a brand new community. It kind of sits on top of a hill, so it's a really nice area, and all the homes are sold. And we had a couple calls come in recently, and they all happen to be on the same street and or adjacent streets. So we kind of had our antenna raised up a little bit as to what's going on. And what we, after talking with the homeowners and understanding what the situation is, it sounds like there's this local blasting of the quarry is potentially affecting the house and the foundations of these houses. So why is this an issue? How could you relate the two? And it's, in reality, it's really tough to kind of draw a straight line from one to the other. But a couple factors you need to consider is in New England, we have a very high bedrock relative to the soil, topsoil. So in areas like Midwest, and also in some cases out west as well, the bedrock sits a lot lower than it does here in the Northeast. We have a lot of granite here too, which is a strong type of rock as well. So when we see even minor earthquakes in New England, it tends to reverberate pretty far compared to what we would see out west in some cases. So when we get a 2.4 earthquake here, people are feeling it far farther away than we would necessarily see it in like a place like Alaska, which has a very muddy soil that goes 50 feet deep in a lot of cases. So these houses that were built, we found is that had to be a lot of blasting that took place already. So a lot of them were sitting on ledge, and they happen to be connected basically to the same ledge of rock that the quarry is down the road. So as the quarry continues its normal operations, which would involve drilling and blasting for product, that will actually reverberate through the bedrock into areas. And most cases, this isn't going to be a concern because you're far enough away, and it's unlikely that there's going to be enough of a blast charge to really affect a concrete foundation. But there's enough evidence here to suggest that potentially there is. Make a legal standing on it because we don't know. But what we found is that the blasting in this quarry nearby, and also in place to further develop this community here, is putting a little bit of stress on the foundations. They're not making structural issues necessarily, but they are definitely causing small hairline cracks to open up into larger cracks and causing flooding issues where they wouldn't necessarily have that under a very small area. So what do these homeowners do? What kind of course of action do they have? Well, I mean, a legal battle is going to take years to kind of unfold, and in reality it's a very difficult thing, because we do hear this story from time to time where either construction or operations of an existing facility is the cause of issues. So a legal battle, while may have merit, is a long slog, and it can take years and years and years to resolve, and it may not resolve in the favor of the homeowners because of how difficult it is to prove these things. But in these cases, these cracks that we're developing, they need to be fixed because they're not going to heal themselves, and they were having water issues, and the freezing and thawing cycles already, it was going to cause further issues to these brand new homes. So in these cases, the homeowners take the ownership of doing the repairs, and then if they decided to take legal action further down the line, if there is any to take, then they would look at the reimbursement through that process. But in a lot of cases, this from time to time with, well, we're going to go after this, or I'm going to wait for the insurance to prove this. And that process can take a long time. It can take years. And in that time of when the first issue happens to the time of resolution, whether it's in the favor of the homeowner or not, a lot of damage can take place. So in a lot of cases, the best thing to do is to repair it, even though it may be out of pocket right away. And then if you decide to continue on that path with knowing that it's been repaired. So it's a tricky situation. It's definitely a lot of gray area, but it's interesting to see how that kind of an operation can take place and can affect foundations nearby. So when you're looking at homes and you're looking at new developments, we've had discussions about this in the past about understanding the topography of where you're putting a house. It's not just the lot that it sits in, but also where it sits relative to other things. There are even things as simple as train tracks, right? If you have trains that go by, heavy freight trains, that vibration may cause issues. It may not. But these are things that you need to consider beyond the picket fence of the house that can actually affect foundations down the line. So in this case, we're really just there to fix the foundation issues and not enter any sort of discussion as to what could or could not have caused it. But it is curious to see how one may affect the other thing. And in this case, they just wanted to get the issues resolved because they were getting water in. So this is an ongoing thing that they're going to monitor over time. And hopefully this is the end of all the foundation cracks for them. But obviously, if more come into place, we'll have to take care of them.